There's something about a shelf of glowing bottles and strange ingredients that instantly make a space feel magical. Over the years, we've made quite a few potions here, from simple potion bottles to ones that will shift colors right before your eyes. Today, I gathered them all into one fantasy apothecary guide. This is a remastered collection with cleaned up audio and updated tips throughout, everything you need in one place. Now let's start with one of our favorites. First potion, Slug Slime. The main ingredient for Slug Slime is hair gel that I found at the dollar store. Now slowly add your alcohol inks, just a few drops at a time, and then mix in between your colors to achieve that perfect putrid green. When you are happy with the color, you can add some Chameleon flakes to give it that little extra dimension, or leave it as is. I have found when working with Chameleon flakes, less is often more. Because hair gel is the base of the potion, it will suspend the flakes and give it that extra magical touch. For everyone playing along at home, I will have the recipes and ingredients listed in the description below. Bottling the Slug Slime can get messy, but boy, does it look nice once it is finished. The final touch for this potion will be adding a label. Second potion, Mermaid Tears. The main ingredient for this is iridescent packaging wrap. Cut it into small, uneven pieces. No need to measure here. Lightly crinkle each piece. The texture will help catch and bounce the light. Then tuck everything into the bottle. Don't pack them in too tightly. Leave a little room so the water and the mica powder can move freely between the pieces. Now that the base is in place, we can mix the liquid part of the potion. In a separate jar, start with some isopropyl alcohol. For this potion, I'm using a 4:1 ratio. I'm often asked why I use isopropyl alcohol. It will slightly change the surface tension. That will help the mica powder stay suspended a little longer. It also will reduce clumping. Then sprinkle in your mica powder. I'm using 2 shades here, a light green and a deep blue. About 2 teaspoons work well. Stir until everything is combined. Then add your distilled water. I prefer to use distilled water over tap water. Tap water will work in a pinch, but minerals and additives can sometimes affect the mixture. Distilled water will just keep things predictable. It's time to add the alcohol inks. For the potion, I used blue and a peacock blue. I did about 6 drops of the blue ink and 4 of the peacock blue. Give another good mix. Slowly pour your mixture into the bottle. That will keep the iridescent packing sheets from getting squashed. If it compresses too much, just tuck in a few more sheets. Final touches for this potion will be adding a label. I do a thin coat of Mod Podge on the back of the label, and then when it's on the bottle, I go over the top of it with more Mod Podge. A lot of my bottles are thrifted. Sometimes I grab a few from the craft store if I am looking for something in particular. For our third potion, let's make some dragon fire. This potion is a throwback to my college days. We used to make these all the time to decorate our dorm room, and I'm excited to bring it back and show you how to make it today. Start by pouring the isopropyl alcohol in the glass bottle, and then fill the rest of it up with the distilled water. I'm doing a 4-to-1 ratio for this again. Next, free the highlighter from its plastic prison. Gently squeeze the highlighter fluid into the bottle. If it's being stubborn, dip the tip into the water to give it a little help. And definitely wear gloves, unless you want highlighter fingers for the rest of the day. Now you can leave it how it is, and it will look spectacular underneath a black light. Or you could add some mica powder for a little extra razzle-dazzle. When you're making a potion that has mica powder in it, you need to leave an air gap at the top. This will help swirl the mica powder around the bottle. So let's put some leather around it to hide the gap. Now we just need to add a label, and this potion is ready for your shelf. The labels I'm using are homemade. I combined a few pieces of clip art into Photoshop to create them. If you're enjoying these magical potions so far, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to follow along for more of our fantasy creations. And one more thing before we get back to the video, if you could leave an emoji in the comment section below, this will let the algorithm know that this video is worth being shared. Now let's add some classic apothecary ingredients to our shelf. These are easy to make, and they add instant character to any fantasy display. Let's start with our first ingredient, poisonous mushrooms. If you don't have the supplies at home, you can easily find them at your local big box craft store. Start by cutting your EVA foam into circles. To give the mushroom cap its iconic shape, simply heat the EVA foam with your heat gun. Then you can use a mason jar or a coffee cup to give it its shape. When the EVA foam has cooled down, it will hold its shape. Next, sand down the rough edges to your liking. Air dry foam clay will be used to make the gills of our mushroom. Just roll a little bit of it out into some uneven wormy guys, then arrange them around the underside of the cap. Make sure they are uneven to give them a little more of an organic look. For the stem of the mushroom, I used a piece of an EVA foam dowel. All we have left to do now is paint our poisonous mushrooms. Second ingredient, magic beans. A tiny nod to Jack and the Beanstalk. This one is easily the simplest of the bunch. A glass jar of your choice and maybe a ribbon for decoration. After permanently borrowing a few beans from your cupboard, you can paint them with nail polish to give them a little bit more of a magical look, or keep them natural like I did. Leaving them natural helps ground the rest of your fantasy apothecary in reality. Third ingredient, mummy dust. No bones about it, this is another really easy ingredient to make. Mix sand and the gravel together, then sprinkle the glow-in-the-dark powder on top and mix. The exact amount will depend on the size of the jar and how bright you want it to glow. Add more powder for a stronger glow. Pour everything into your desired glass jar, add a label, and you are done. Fourth ingredient, jellyfish stingers. Here is another low effort ingredient to make, but when you're done, it looks really cool on the shelf. On a piece of tinfoil, take your hot glue gun and start at one end and pull a little bit of hot glue, then pull away from the puddle you just made. When you are making these, do them in a variety of sizes and widths. That way they won't look like they've been manufactured and give them that organic look. When they are cooled, just simply peel them off the tinfoil and throw them in your jar. Fifth ingredient, spider eggs. Start with taking a piece of wool, roll it into a loose ball, then simply poke it in shape until you are happy. When I made mine, I didn't make them very tight. I also made a variety of color and shapes to help go for the au naturel look. To save some time, you can make a big blobby guy or just stuff some unfelted wool in the center. That way it will help eliminate how many spider eggs you have to make. If you don't have needle felting supplies at home, you can easily go to your local craft store and check out the Christmas section and look for snowflake pellets or find some cotton balls. They'll work just as well. Our apothecary shelf is looking pretty magical already, but now it is time for the real showstoppers. These potions actually change color, and I will show you two different ways to make them. For the first color changing potion, we're using a slightly different method. This one skips the isopropyl alcohol entirely and gives you a dramatic shift between orange to deep purple. Start by filling your bottle a little over halfway with distilled water. Next, dye the water with orange gel food coloring. Add the smallest touch of teal. The teal will soften the brightness and adds depth to the orange. Mix until fully dissolved. Now add about a teaspoon of vegetable glycerin. Vegetable glycerin works similarly to isopropyl alcohol here. It changes the surface tension in the water and helps keep the mica powder suspended a little bit longer and give it a nice swirl. When choosing your colors, it's easiest to move from light to dark. For this example, we're shifting from orange to purple. Add your mica powder. Start with 2 teaspoons. Depending on your base color, you may need to add a bit more. Give it a good stir. Top the bottle off with distilled water and stop at the base of the neck. Leaving a small air gap will help make it easier to swirl the potion later. Wipe the neck clean. Add your decorative elements and attach the label. Reinsert the topper. And your potion is ready for the shelf. Now that we have explored the vegetable glycerin method, let's revisit the very first color-changing potion video we shared on our channel. For this final variation, we are turning to isopropyl alcohol. Start by filling your bottle halfway with distilled water. Add a few drops of alcohol ink. Make sure you keep the color translucent. In a separate jar, combine the isopropyl alcohol with mica powder. Stir until fully blended. Now carefully pour the alcohol mixture into the bottle. The mica powder mixture will overtake the translucent blue water, and that is how the color-changing effect works. Simply put, a darker opaque color covers up a lighter translucent one. That's what creates the magical shift. After a few hours, the mica powder will settle to the bottom, revealing the blue tone underneath. With a simple shake, the color will shift all over again. And that's our final color-changing potion, a little nod to where the whole journey began. Thank you for spending a little time with us here in the Mythical Makers Workshop, and I hope this remastered guide has inspired you to go out and build something magical of your own.